consumers are being craft washed, and regardless of what the big majors say, that they're being open and honest with consumers. That
join the cheer. Hiker Brewing is where we chat, because it's where good beers are at. Support it out.
Okay, mate, how you doing? Welcome.
Happy week of Easter coming, or the procession of freaking public holidays for the next umpteen weeks.
Oh man, there's a heap of short weeks going on, and if you're getting anything delivered, it's a pain in the ass because you don't know when it's going to turn up. So.
Action figures?
Action figures, indeed. Yeah, action figures. Yeah, well, shit, spilling water everywhere.
No, action figures is the hashtag of the month.
That's right. Yeah. Well, our little video looks great that you did, so that's awesome.
Bit of fun.
Yeah.
So, thought I'd jump on the action figure craze, so
100%. No, it looks great. It's awesome.
So just check us out on socials, see which one you like the best, and let us know.
Yeah, 100%. Mate, episode 51 today. We're getting closer to 100.
True.
Oh dear. Before we go any further, as always, thanking our sponsors, Bintani, Craft Punks Canning, Convoy Kegs, Rattlings Labels and Stickers, and of course, Hiker Brewing.
Concern.
That's right. Concerning. Mate, Joel was away over in the US, and we were running out of episodes that we had scheduled in to do. So while he was away, I sat down with Matt Cuthbert and talked all things Matt Cuthbert and his new role down at Clayton Hops and stuff like that. So that's coming out this Sunday.
Yeah, no, he's. I think he'll kill it. Like, I'm not sure he's probably the super salesman, but I think the product will sell itself. So he's got really sharp pricing on a lot of his hops. So
yeah, I think he'll do pretty well too.
We're definitely, Hiker's definitely interested. So
yeah, very nice. No, I think he'll do well. So that's cool.
Yeah, and I wish him all the best in his new role, and like taking the fam back to Victoria. So that'll be good.
Indeed, mate. Just after we finished yesterday, this sort of came out. Wayward and Akasha joining forces and becoming one.
Are they going to be called VA?
No. I thought they'd be called Waikasha, which sounds cool. No, sounds like Japanese.
VA squared, so... Yeah.
No.
So what... Do they talk about the benefit of why they're doing it? Like...
I think aim is to sustain what they've both developed and have more taps on both of their venues, I think.
Yeah, so are they both Sydney based?
Yeah,
I never remember.
Yep.
So it's not like
they've both got a couple of venues as well.
Yeah.
But the brands themselves are going to stay the same. It's just going to be the venues that will all come together.
And the local drinks collective will still survive. So that's the distribution partner between Wayward and Batch.
Yep.
But that'll also be rolled into the new venture. So
yeah. It's I think we talked about it last week that there's just going to be a lot more of these.
I think there'll be a lot more consolidation.
Yeah,
and I think like it sort of makes sense. Potentially like have two brands, so that's good. They're not going to sort of roll into one. And it's probably more, cost savings back of house.
Yeah.
And also, I suppose, flexibility in regards to, production. So if you've got, spare latent capacity at one brewery and not the other.
Yep.
It'll be interesting to see how it plays out, and and what I suppose what the is it 50-50, or is one valued more than the other? So has one got a higher stake in the overall business, or?
Yeah, I don't think any of that's being talked about publicly.
No, well, they're no need. They're not
No.
they're not a listed company, and it's one of those interesting things. And I think we saw it sort of last week, sort of with what was it, Hip Hops and Bacchus,
Yep.
and so I hear rumblings about some others. So don't know whether it's just. VA was the word last year. Mergers maybe,
Maybe.
or
Yeah,
closures. Closures is probably the word of 2025. So maybe mergers is the way to survive. But I think just from sales staff, back of house, probably. Also probably getting better prices from suppliers. All those sort of perks that help them. So we'll come out of this a lot better.
So
it's a bit of economies of scale having two together. It'll be interesting to see how it transpires over the next little bit, and see who else is going to sort of get into bed with each other.
That's right. Yeah, I don't know. I can't. You're saying you've heard rumblings. I haven't heard anything of anyone sort of else. So, who are you planning to? Who are you rumbling about?
No, definitely not us. We run our own race. I think anyone who merged with us would be shocked about how lean and mean we are. So I think, I don't know. I think there'll be more sales and more consolidation and more vertical integration with pub groups and stuff like that. It's a little bit harder in Queensland because there's a couple of big conglomerates. But you see Comiskey Group and what's the other one? I always forget the ones in the valley.
Cartazonia.
They're because they're taking on Tiny Mountain. So it'll be interesting to see. They must be getting, because what do they got? Valley Hops, and then they've got Tiny Mountain. It'll be interesting. They'll still. You wouldn't think they'd be near the excise threshold. So, but if you can fill that capacity up and not pay tax on the first 350, soon to be 400 potentially, depending on who gets in.
Then it's only a bonus for your business
exactly.
overall.
Well, that's right. That you might as well squeeze as much out of it.
For sure.
Than having to pay other suppliers.
Yeah.
Oh no,
100%.
And they bought. Who bought Yamundi? That was
Comiskey Group.
So you'll see some more of those pub groups. I think start picking up some more, I would suggest.
Well, I think too, if you've got pubs and you buy a brewery, it makes sense to grab a brewery and push that through your pubs, because your profit on your beer is going to be way better than the beers you purchase, right? So I mean, that's why we sell our beer across the tap room. For that very reason. So they'd be mad not to be looking at that sort of a business.
Anyone who owns a pub, be mad not to try and have their own brewery if they're pumping through enough.
Mate, Steve, Jeff, I don't know how to say his name. Jeffers has bought the Glen Iris, which was Deed's former home. Taking it on. So Steve Jeffers is Stomping Ground, Gabs. What was the other little venue?
Local tap house.
That's right. Where it all started.
So is he doing that on his?
He's doing it on his own.
That's interesting.
And wants it to be a huge indie spirits, beer, wine, predominantly made in Melbourne and Victoria. Hospitality space. It's not going to brew any beer there, so he's got plans to open it up to make a big beer garden and more facilities, like a real bit of hospitality venue.
Because he's still a sort of major shareholder in Stomping Ground, but he's had a bit of a break, I think. So obviously got itchy feet.
Yeah.
and focus on a new venture. So yeah, good luck to him.
Yeah, I think it's good. I think it's good as well that the venue remains as a cool hospitality venue and doesn't, get turned into offices or something like that after the fit out and whatnot that Deeds put into it. The
So
effort.
he's obviously bought the building because the building was for sale.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, nice. And
So-
and obviously they sold Gabs to what's his name, Mike, a while ago. So
Yeah.
probably
I think it was
got out at the right time.
2019, and that happened.
Yeah, got out at the right time.
Yeah.
So, yeah. No, I think it's good, and I think it's the more those little local breweries survive. It's it's good for the community. So
Yeah.
so it'll wish him luck. He's obviously a smart cookie, knows what he's doing. So
Yeah, definitely. Mate, the next article is this is from Broadsheet, but I've found a number of articles across the media landscape in the last week talking about this. That supermarket beer scam, in that consumers are being craft washed, and regardless of what the big majors say, that they're being open and honest with consumers that it's their brands, how much do consumers actually really know and look at the labels of who's manufacturing what and able to piece it all together when they own so many?
that's the trick, and I still reckon I think craft's a pretty nebulous term now. So
Well, it definitely is.
I don't even particularly like the word independent, because I think that's got a bit of a misnomer as well. Based on the IBA definition, because what does independent mean? Like, basically means it's Australian owned and under, and you don't have
Just not a
pokies.
conglomerate. Yeah.
So that's how. So
Yep.
I don't know. I've racked my brain. I've asked ChatGPT.
Yep.
Like, what's a better name? So, but it's one of those things that,
Yeah, I think. I think too is what it means is it's just less shelf space in those bottle shops, and price competition is so much more difficult, especially when those guys dictate the prices to you that they're going to pay,
yeah.
not the price that you normally sell it for wholesale. They say, no, this is what we're paying.
Yeah.
You either like it or lump it,
Yeah, no, totally.
and it's a 90-day term.
Yeah, well, I use the term a lot, vertical integration. So that's what the liquor stores are doing. Is if you control the whole gamut from production through to like selling in your own thing. There's no middleman. There's no nothing.
Yeah.
Economies of scale. So yeah, but I don't know. I haven't had a tinny for a while, or what's the other one? Lorry Boys and a few others. So. I used to drink tinnies a little bit when I was like broke.
Yeah.
Didn't have a brewery.
No.
But so that's it's a price point thing, and I think it's tapping into those that want to feel like they're drinking a quality product, and I'm not saying that they're not. So I think some of them done pretty well at Avers last year.
Yeah.
I think. So
Yep.
that's like the product's probably good. It's just more where's your money going? Who's making the money?
And on our industry side, how can we compete with that when they've got so much more ability to get it into their venues without all these hurdles?
Oh, exactly.
You know?
But I look at it all the time. Like I live a kilometre from the brewery, 1.3 kilometres.
Yep.
I got Liquorland or Liquor First Choice or whatever it is. Like basically next door when I'm walking to work or whatever. Or on the weekend I'll go and get some lunch or something. And the number of cars are in the car park. People are just going and getting
All the time.
all the time. It's just like it's just the cash register's ticking over. So.
Yeah.
It's definitely but people are price sensitive, and and I think even with interest rate reductions and stuff like that, people are nervous about the Trump effect.
Yeah.
I think people are squeezing everything, that they can do. So
Yeah, well, this article is going to be in the show notes. You can go and check it out. It's Johnny Bucknell is the writer of it. He's the founder of Freshwater Brewing Company in Sydney. So I think it's good. That
do you think the Indie Seal's got any sway?
I don't think that the general public outside of the craft beer industry are aware of the Indie Seal or what it means.
Yeah, that's my thought as well.
I don't think that it. I don't think that it's necessarily making shoppers pick up a beer and look around for that seal to say, oh yeah, I'll buy this product because of the seal.
Yeah,
if that makes sense. Like, I think people are buying beer based on price. I think they're always going to buy beer, wine,
totally.
spirits based on price. But
yeah, I just
the conversation in the general public vernacular, I don't think that they're worried about that too much, of looking for the seal to try and find out. Half of them probably don't even know what the seal looks like to look for it.
But do you reckon that like something on packaging like brewed locally, or like a I don't know, like local company, or
Yeah, but anyone can say that.
I know that's what I mean, but like it's
Yeah.
I don't know. Like it's I don't know what the answer is. It's like but it's like bottles of wine though. Like bottle of wine a bit different, but
Yeah.
you have awards on them. You see a gold medal on a wine bottle.
Yep.
You actually go, oh geez, that must be all right.
Yeah, yeah.
So, I don't know. Like, what is the carrot for someone to actually go? Yeah, I will grab that 4-pack of beer because it's got this metal artwork on it, or this seal on it, or whatever. So,
Well, that's the $1 million question, isn't it? If you can figure that out and put that on your can to make people want to grab it.
yeah,
On the flip side too, you've got to play in that playground if that's where you want to be. Like you talk all the time about being, as you said, vertically integrated. So we don't wholesale a lot of our beers unless we've got beers to share.
yep,
It's all, you've got to come to our venue or buy it online.
yeah.
That's predominantly where you get our beers. So what's stopping people from getting our beers if they don't live within the regions of here? Is it the online factor that people don't buy as much beer online anymore? Have they bought it and they had a bad experience? Is it because it's not cold? Is it because there's
Shipping
there's
costs
so
too
many
high,
different
factors.
factors? I think.
That's our online store.
Yep.
We definitely don't sell a lot of beer online, so
No.
yeah, I honestly don't know what the answer is. I think I don't know but again, it's like that's the thing. Like I think the Indie Seal is potentially a good thing, but I think that the issue is more in regards to implementation. Like you can come up with the best this, that, and the other, but it's about implementing and how. Unless you've got money to spend on pushing it out to consumers and making it front of mind, then really it's just another thing on the can.
Well, later on there is a article that I want to talk about from the UK about the indie beer message. So we'll get to that.
Okay. Cool.
Later.
Again, I've read the show notes really well, so it's good.
It's all right. No, we'll not jump ahead. No. Mate, the next article is Molly Rose from the Ashes. Did you like the way I wrote that, Andy? So they've reopened, which seems to be an interim reopening, like with limited hours, and it doesn't really say. So they entered into a liquidation, but it doesn't really. It's not permanent. It doesn't sound permanent. It sounds pretty liquid and loose. in regards to how long they're going to be there.
Is it more
opening
just to
for-
move stock to like
to reduce the debt, or
maybe the liquidators feel that rather than trying to sell the beer wholesale,
yeah.
you know, like keep it open and run the stock down.
Well, it says this interim offering is a celebration of the business's return and a gesture of gratitude to the community that has long supported Molly Rose. So that wording sounds like it's back, albeit in limited space and a
Probably
change
just
of
spin,
business.
I reckon.
but, yeah.
I reckon it's just like, that's what I mean, like, what do they got? Operation resume Friday 11th of April at 4 p.m. under limited opening hours with $10 pints. So, you know, if you're selling $10 pints,
Yeah.
you're getting a lot more, you know, like revenue in regards
Yeah.
to, obviously there's other costs like freaking rent and
Yeah,
all
yeah,
that
yeah.
type of stuff, so you can't, but yeah, maybe they've run the numbers and figured they can't sell it anywhere.
Yeah.
And then this is a way of trying to get more liquidity in the business so that, you know, the debtors get more cents in the dollar from the liquidation.
Yeah.
Yeah, so yeah, it's pretty vague.
Mm.
But yeah, no, I really feel, I can't remember the guy who started it, but I know, you know, I remember listening to the podcast, I think I spoke about the other week, Ale of the Time, so
Yep.
they did little things with him, and, you know, Molly Rose was the name of his two grandmothers. I
Yep.
thought that was a really nice, you know, like,
Yeah.
nice sort of, you know, nod to them and things like that, so, but yeah, no, I hope it's a longer term, but, you know, anything to do with liquidation doesn't,
Doesn't always scream.
yeah, it doesn't always
Long-term
make it. It's going to come
viability.
out solid. It's going to be liquid. But anyway,
Yeah.
because they liquidate everything, turn it into liquid cash, so that they can, you know, try and pay debtors. So anyway,
Yeah. Now, mate, you like a beer can or two?
I like designing them.
Yeah. So this man, Justin Chainsaw Jones, has a personal collection of almost 6,000 cans. Doesn't say whether they're open or full.
Yeah.
But he's a member also of the Australian Beer Can Collectors Association.
Ah, yes.
Um,
I've come across a few of those in my time.
Oh, so have I. Yeah, people trying to buy your cans from
Oh, but not
labels
even that.
and-
Like they'll buy a beer, like a thing. They'll check the can before they buy
Oh, yeah.
it.
Yeah, it's got to be pristine.
Yeah.
Yeah, that. I mean, if you're a collector, that's what you do, right?
Yeah.
So yeah,
Has he drunk all of them, or has he just got cans?
I don't know. It doesn't say whether they're all opened or unopened.
It's
you'd
funny. It's
assume
funny.
they're all opened.
Funny, we got a guy that comes in. He's got his Untapped on his phone. He looks up all the time,
Yeah.
and you know he'll only ever drink a new beer.
Oh, I think I know the guy you're talking.
Yeah.
Yep.
I can't remember his name.
Yeah.
And it's like I asked him one day. I said, "What's the go?" He goes, "No, I promised my wife I'd only drink
new beers.
So he can't actually, drink a beer he's already had.
Yeah.
So he always comes in about once a month and scans the
Just has a look
board.
through. Yeah.
Got anything new? It's like,
They're nice.
that's why I don't have a wife.
Well, this old mate, he's got some of his beers, but not just his, a whole bunch of others. It's called the Chainsaw Lager Exhibition. So it's on display in an art gallery on Bruny Island, which is south of
nice.
Hobart, until the 4th of May. So I think if you're down there, there's
So did he move them to an art gallery? That would have been
not all of them. He's some of
Oh,
his
just-
and some of other people's. So yeah,
Okay.
there's some Russian beers, German beers in there. Some of the old school Australian steel beer cans. So
nice.
yeah,
Yeah, I've got. I reckon there would be 1,000,000 people out there, pack tech holder collectors.
yeah, and they're not meaning to be collectors. They've just got
They're
it
they're just sitting
because they don't want to throw them.
They don't know what to do with them. I reckon there's 1 million collectors out there doing pack techs.
Definitely, bring them into high.
Well, that's we get reformed people that come back and like put them in our little, recycle bin or our reuse bin. It's not
That's
recycling.
right.
We reuse them because they're 35 cents each new.
Yeah,
so
they're expensive. Yep.
So yeah, but
Mate, and speaking of collections...
maybe we should start a PackTech Collectors Club.
Maybe.
PackTech Collectors Day. What do you reckon, Mike?
Yeah.
Only a hiker. Oh, we're under something there. I might start.
Well, mate,
that would be cool.
You're
Like-
old,
Oh, am
right?
I?
Yeah. Well, you're older than me, so yeah. Beer trays. You remember going to the pub and getting beer trays?
Oh, I
and
love beer
coming
trays.
back to the table
Yep.
with your beer trays. I've got a couple of old ones at home in my garage that stashed away in a whole bunch of bar paraphernalia that I'm keeping. So, along with old mate collecting these cans, there's another man who's converted his garage into a beer tray museum.
That's cool.
So,
We should get beer trays. That would be unreal.
beer trays would be cool. He's
Yeah.
300
beer
trays he's got. He's in the UK.
Because what's the big thing in America? Those tin tacks or something? You know, like, you know, they're like the logos and stuff.
Oh,
on
yeah.
it. Yeah,
Yep.
they're huge in America.
Yeah,
So, Joel, get me one while you're there. Oh, you're probably back one now. So,
yeah.
But yeah, beer trays.
Yeah, so I wonder if he, like, it says here, he was gifted one by the landlord, and then he started collecting them. Now, I've never really seen them for sale.
No. Beer
I've only
trays.
seen them, like, when you steal them or when...
Well, that's what I mean. Like, imagine if we had them. Oh, look, no, like, Bolter have got a beer tray.
Oh, there you go.
You can buy a Bolter beer tray for $30.
Yeah. Beer trays. Watch this space. You might see them making a
I
comeback.
think that would be cool. I would,
Yeah.
yeah.
I'm keen for that. I'd be keen to
I'd
see
love
beer
to know
trays
where
come
you
back.
can get them made.
Yeah,
China.
I reckon we could figure that out too.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's cool. I do like a beer tray.
Yeah, no, yeah. I remember working in a pub.
Can't have
And
the
my
cheap
team-
plastic ones.
No,
It
no, you
needs to
need
be
a proper, proper solid.
Yeah,
Yeah, proper solid one.
yeah,
There you go. Like Bolter have got them.
yeah,
I wonder who we know at Bolter.
yeah.
I'd like to.
Wonder if theirs is.
Draw
So
it
yeah,
in.
see, it's an enamel circle.
Enamels.
Yeah,
Enamel.
that means it's
enamel
metal.
is metal. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, that looks great.
Okay.
Well,
Add
me-
that to the wish list. We
Yeah,
might
we'll
crowdfund
start
that.
look at that. Yes, that's excellent, mate. So also in the UK, they've done a excuse me, a bit of research and did a survey, and they're saying that over in the UK, the independent indie beer campaign is having an effect on the younger drinkers. So the 18 to 24-year-olds are much more likely to be aware of the campaign compared to just over 1 in 10 of beer drinkers outside of that age group, older than that. But the younger age group, and it doesn't say this in this article, but it's just factual overall, is that the younger age group aren't drinking as much beer or otherwise, any alcohol products in general, overall. So while they're aware of it, is it making them choose the beers to drink more? Or is it just making them aware of the campaign because it's social good and, you know?
Yeah, that's interesting.
Uh,
I found that we're much more likely to be aware of the campaign compared to just over. Okay, that's interesting.
mm,
So, but they just don't drink.
yeah.
Yeah, so don't know. It's yeah.
What a good fact in here as well is one of these things. So, when informed that these breweries were actually owned by global companies and not independent, 75% of people surveyed said they felt consumers were being misled. So, I think people feel that.
Yeah. Oh,
But as
definitely.
you said, it's how do you mould it? How do you get that message? And
But
how do you
also, it's
increase
more
the-
doing a survey. I want to say the right thing. You know,
Yep.
it's like the dollar milk. You know, everyone goes bloody
Oh,
Coles
yeah.
and Woolly, but people still bought it.
100%.
So, like...
Still need the milk.
But if you went out and did a survey,
it's terrible.
It's terrible, buy Norco or whatever.
Yeah.
Like surveys, it's I don't know. I think there's
I know what you mean.
I think there's a deviation of the moral compass.
With
So
the way you ask your
I
question.
totally agree. But but if you're if you're price sensitive, it's like fuck, I'm just buy it anyway.
Yeah.
So,
Yep.
so,
No, I just thought it was a good thing in particular with that focus on the young drinkers who were more aware of that indie thing. Mate, we talked about last week the Czech beer culture. We're looking for UNESCO significance, and mate, UNESCO must be more important in Europe than I thought, because now the UK are making a push for traditional cask ales to be recognised by UNESCO.
I must have read the article.
They must have heard our podcast.
They must have listened to
We're
the
huge in
podcast.
England. You guys don't know it. Yeah. So
As we said last week, I still don't understand the whole.
I don't either.
I get the heritage and stuff like that, but what does it actually give you? Like,
I don't know. No product in the UK actually has any UNESCO status at all. So,
okay. Not even the haggis in Scotland.
well, mate, I think it's because they take from every other country and it's all in their museums already. It's not their cultural history. Oh, that's a broad brush. But, I'm just finding it funny that the last week was Czech and this week it's the UK trying to do something.
Yep.
And a couple of months ago, we did read about a lot of brewers in the UK that are trying to not change the cask ale, but update it to modern palates to be using a bit more hops and things like that as well. So I love a cask ale.
Yeah, same.
You just can't get them.
No.
Just
exactly.
hard, and our climate, especially up here in Queensland, isn't really prevalent.
Yeah. No, exactly. No, that's the thing.
Don't tell Ross that from Bacchus.
The hip hop Bacchus.
Yeah.
Anyway, but that's the thing. Like, obviously you got to respect the past, but you've also got to go to consumer trends and stuff like that. So if people want to deviate a little bit, and put a new slant on it, good luck to them, I reckon.
Yep.
That's, otherwise things will never evolve. We'd never have, hazies and like obviously there was hazies back in the day, like wheat beers and stuff like that. But like the IPA. Phenomenon and the different variants of that. Yep. You've just got to evolve.
Yeah.
And that's the thing that I love about beer compared to wine. Wine is, you can blend grapes, you can blend and stuff like that from different grape varieties, but there's just so many more adjuncts you can put into beer. You can even put, cocoa powder and, make a chocolate milk
stout.
And lactose.
Yeah.
Couldn't do that with wine.
No. Mate, we're in New York now, and over there, some people don't even know, New York is a city, but there's also a state. So New York State has just declared that they've got April 11th is their New York Craft Beer Day. So the state has its own craft beer day to celebrate. The governor of the state was supportive, said that it generates 22,000 jobs and 4.8 billion across the New York state. So that's just in New York. And they wanted to champion that.
So when are we going to see our governor? I mean, the
I don't
Premier.
know David Crisafulli all that well.
Well,
but I reckon
Crofty would. He came and had a beer after winning Grand Champion.
That's
so
right.
I reckon he'd have him on speed dial.
Yeah. I reckon we know a few people. I think it's great. I'd like to see a Queensland Craft Beer Day. I think it'd be great. It'd be an awesome thing to celebrate.
Well, put it on your list.
Yep.
Go to ChatGPT. Let's write a letter to the Premier.
Job done. I will do that. I will do that.
Yeah. I reckon we write a letter to the Premier going, will you help champion
a Queensland Craft Beer Day? All we need is a date.
Yeah.
But we just want you to officially declare a date.
Yep.
Yeah.
Let's do that.
Yeah, let's do that.
Yeah. So,
Job done. You heard it here first. If you don't happen to live in Queensland and you're listening to this, I recommend contacting your state representative to try and get your own day across. I'm not going to write a letter for everyone.
No, but yeah, I reckon we just go to the head honcho and
I think it'd be cool.
Yeah, I reckon we'll take that on as a little project from Hiker.
Yeah.
And then, I reckon then, we pick a good date. And then try and get everyone to celebrate
find a
it.
significant date. I wonder if there's a way to find a significant date.
Is Crafty Pint still, when they did the local beer days, is that still on?
February 24th it was when they did it. I don't know
hasn't
if it was this year. I'm pretty sure that it wasn't held this year. I think a few breweries, I saw them do a post to say local beer day, but I don't think that it was.
I don't want to tie it to that, but I just...
No.
Is there anything... There's nothing really similar. So
Yeah, so they only did the one, as far as I know. Yeah.
Yeah.
But anyway.
I reckon...
You're
I
good to
reckon,
try
I reckon
and-
we need to get the Premier to declare...
Queensland Craft Beer Day.
I think.
Yeah, I'm keen for that. I love all weird and wonderful things like that. I'm in.
Yeah, I reckon you'll be into it.
Yeah, why not? Speaking of getting into it, still in New York, so this is Long Island Brewery. They dove down and from a shipwreck in 1886 found some craft beers. Well, they didn't find craft beers, they found some beers, which they had to...
Well, it was crafted back then.
That's right. They got some yeast out of these beers that weren't opened, and they found these yeasts that were unique to that region, actually from Long Island, and they had to cultivate the yeast because over time the yeast had changed and was just surviving on obviously less than sugar and what it needed. It was just living. So they had to get it back to performing properly and creating beer and CO2 and all the stuff that we love for it. So that's what they did. They got it all sorted and done, and so now they've got a whole range of beers using these yeasts. So they've got a pale ale, an IPA, a porter, an ESB, and a black IPA.
So they're just following Ross's thing with his, like, ones from the bloody Egyptian mummies
from the
or whatever.
Egyptians, yeah. Well, I tasted that beer, and it's a good beer.
Yeah.
I haven't tasted this beer.
No.
So, yeah, I think this is cool. Just another thing showing just how important yeast is and how long it can survive and what you can use it for, and plus to make some good beers.
Yeah.
Everyone's just trying to make beer out of a whole bunch of cool stuff.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, nice.
Now, mate, it hasn't been hugely publicised yet because we generally don't do it until we see the medals or the framed things, but Hiker won a couple of awards over the weekend.
And just add to the trophy collection.
That's exactly right.
Add to our international trophy collection.
Yeah, so what did we get?
So we won a gold medal at gold and a bronze medal at the Korean International Beer Awards.
Pretty good.
Pretty good. 3 entries,
Yep.
2 medals, and it's a very different competition. It's not...
Yeah, it's not a... You can get multiple golds in one
It's not like
category
16 golds or whatever. It's like first, second, third. So, so we picked up gold for Twilight, the black IPA.
It's killing it this year, that beer.
Yeah, and what else we get? Oh, bronze for Wanderer. So I think that's... No, did it? No. Did it get... No, it didn't get one in Korea last year.
No,
Where
it
did it
didn't.
go? It got one in Japan.
Yeah.
So Japan had picked up a
Yep.
bronze or something, I think.
Yeah.
From memory. So 2. The other one, Wilderness, which is the one when we got the email going, like the presentations tonight.
Can you come?
Can you come? It's like, I went, probably not.
You'd be doing
And
alright
then
if you just pack your bags and get to Seoul.
Yeah, exactly. Probably get to the airport.
Yeah.
But so I thought, I took a can of Wilderness home, going, oh well,
This is the one.
this is the one, and I didn't get anything. But yeah, saying that, I just had a look at the results.
Yeah.
A little bit cheeky, the Hong Kong Brewery or whatever it was called. They got gold, silver, and bronze. Same beer, slightly tweaked.
Yeah.
So they got version 3 got gold, version 5 got silver, and version 4 got bronze or something. So
So how many beers did they put in? Like 12?
yeah,
12
so how many versions?
Yeah.
I went, that's like pick your best one. Don't flutter.
Like a competition like that.
Anyway, but yeah, well, that was a surprise. It's definitely a surprise for Wanderer. We had to scramble to find a 4-pack because I think
well, it wasn't canned. The new batch hadn't
no,
been
the
canned.
new batch hadn't been canned, and I was just like, and I'm going Wanderer. I think it's supposed to be Wanderlust, but anyway, so because it was done after Royal Queensland. Obviously, that's why we picked. The 2 trophy winners from Royal Queensland. It was like that afternoon we had to put the entries in.
Or maybe everyone had just had a couple of beers.
Yeah, I don't put the entries in. I will not lay blame. I probably wouldn't. I probably would have made more than the one mistake. But anyway, because I was just like Wanderer, so I had to scramble in the gold room to try and find, because you only sent a 4-pack over. I had to scramble to like find a 4-pack of Wanderer, which we found. Wanderer. Probably low fills, oxidised to buggery. Anyway, but it picked up bronze, so that was, if I was a betting man, that was definitely not on the thing. But yeah, no, it's good that Twilight, so so that was very nice of Hendo to actually take.
He had a great time over there. He was table captain for the first time in an international beer event. Yeah,
so it was good. Yeah, so and it was good that we won gold, because Twilight's actually, one of his 50th birthday beers that we brewed. It was his recipe, and this batch, he actually was here for brew day, so he missed brewing because he was sort of jet setting around all the time last year before his 50th.
Yeah.
So he wasn't actually here for brew day, so he came to brew day this year. So, but it's a funny thing, hey, like Twilight. This is the irony. So Twilight.
It's super subjective sometimes.
Super subjective. Well, that's beer judging, isn't it? Like, because Twilight got silver at Royal Queensland, got gold last year. And you sent it to an international competition.
Gold medal.
Wins the trophy. Go figure. Anyway, well that's a nice little gong. So it's obviously Korea's not our target market, but it's always nice because we've sort of really cut back on. We haven't entered any beers in AIBAs this year.
Yeah.
And there's no indies, so pretty much
Hops are done. Unless you want to enter some Sydney or Adelaide.
Yeah, and that it's not our target market, so we really throw the kitchen sink at Queensland because it's one, the price is good. Two, we can basically pack some of the beers the day of or the day before. That week we really change our production schedule to get the beers as fresh as possible. So and then drive them straight over. So. It's just the expense, and then again, we're talking about the indie seal, but even putting metal artwork on cans, I've done it on a few, but again, we're not competing in a bottle shop shelf, people come here and buy it, so it's it might be different if and that's I know Slipstream. They've got billboards up the sunny coast with all their trophies and things like that from Royal Queensland that really pushing their new venue.
That's right. Yeah.
So which makes sense. So if you won those gongs,
shout it.
Yeah, you might as well. So
is Gav on one of those billboards?
No, not that I could see. Yeah. Yeah, so, but anyway, that's what I mean, at least, highlighting that, that's what I mean, if you can get the marketing right, you can actually make something of it. Yeah. So, but it all comes down to money, isn't it?
That's about everything comes down to money.
So we'll just get social influencers to,
That's right. If you're a social influencer,
Yeah.
Hit us up.
We,
We've got a question or two.
we've got some ideas.
That's right. Oh dear. All right, mate. I think I'm done. How about you?
Yeah,
It's a big one today.
Pretty well done. Yeah. So nothing. That was a long one.
Yeah. All right.
I know.
Pour it out.
Yeah. Take a hike and see you after Easter. Have a good Easter, everyone.
That's right. Cheers. Bye.